everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. Oh, I can't wait. We got a delicious Elijah Craig Barrel Proof tonight. And that's right, it's the latest one, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A122. So you might be saying, but wait a second. It's near the end of February when this comes out. That's right. Pennsylvania just released the January edition of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So tonight we're going to find out how delicious it is and compare it to a few of the other ones I have. So if you have an older one and you kind of want to know how does it stack up, we're going to answer that for you tonight. So obviously, as always on this channel, before we dive into the tastings, let's take a look at the bottle. Alright, there it is. The traditional Elijah Craig Barrel Proof bottle of what you've been used to now for a while. Nothing special, but let's see if it still retains the coveted 12-year age statement. It does. 12 years old, non-chill filtered is still on the label for those worrying that they might be getting younger and younger. Still has, you know, the lovely barrel proof neck tag. We still have the Elijah Craig stamped into the top cap. Now this one here is coming in at 120.8 proof. So a little low. We're unfortunately continuing that rather low proof. Now I know 120 isn't low, but for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, obviously some of the ones from 2020 were in like the 130s, and that's where everyone liked them. But you know, all the 21s were pretty low as well. Not much else going on here, so let's grab it. I already poured myself the glass back here. We'll give you a few notes and we'll do some comparisons. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is in the glass, as dark as ever. Which isn't super dark, but it's feels pretty thick in the glass. Let's fire up the old nostrils. Oh, what a delicious nose. I'm just getting like, obviously there's some oak coming through, but there's a strong like cherry cola note. If I was, you know, blindfolded here and smelling this, I would almost think I'm smelling like a Stag Junior. Very cherry cola on the nose. I'm getting vanilla. Some oak in the background for sure on this one. A great nose. I would say more reminiscent of the older ones. A lot of the ones last year didn't smell like that to me. So, let's give it a taste. Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty much exactly what I said comes through on the palate. Has like a cherry cola note to it. A lot of sweetness. It's a little sweeter than I remember the ones from last year being. That oak comes through in the end, just well balanced. It's a sweet oak. Comes through in the end. Let's take another sip. Besides that cherry cola note, I get a few other like just red fruit notes coming through as well. It's delicious. I really enjoy it. I would say it drinks about 120, which I know some of the other Elijah Craigs have drank hotter than they well, hotter than they stated. They drank hotter than that. This one drinks about 120. It's fairly, I hate to use the word, but it actually is fairly smooth. Pretty oily on the mouthfeel. Coats the mouth well. Pretty long finish on it, honestly. A delicious sipper. I could really see myself, you know, just going back to this again and again. It's quite a delicious pour. Alright, so we got some of that still in our glass. Now, what do you want to see compared to it? Well, what's that? The A batch from last year, you say? Let me see if I have A121. Here we go. A121 from last year. I enjoyed this one, right? It's almost gone. This one came in at 123.6, so not quite 3 proof points higher. So let's have you know, a small taste of that, and we'll do a little comparison if you enjoyed the A batch last year. Alright, I got the A batch here in the blue glass. Oh, I'm sorry, A121 in the blue glass, and I got A122 in the clear. So let's give a nosing to the blue here. This is far more caramel and like brown sugar and oak on it. Totally different nose. Totally different. Again, just the cherry cola. You know, a lot of vanilla even coming through on this one. This one is sharper, darker, mostly caramel and like a heavy oak, but not necessarily a sweet oak. Let's give this one a quick taste. Yeah, I mean, this one, it's good. They're both good, but different experiences. If you want that caramel, a little bit more drier oak coming through, then A121 was your jam. This one, again, way more cola and red fruits and just sweeter overall. So that's how the A batch to A batch lines up. Now, I will link it above, but my best batch of 2021 to me, to my palate here at Bourbon Bill, was the C921. That to me was the best of the year. So I do have that. So let's take a look at that and do a little comparison there. There it is, C921. This one coming in at 120.2. So only 0.6 proof points off of the latest A122. So let me pour this one up. Good cork pop on that one. Alright, we got that one in the old green Glencairn here. Alright, so again, A122, C921, very close in proof, only 0.6 off from each other. So let's give the old C921 a nose. And again, this is my favorite of last year. Much closer on the nose. There's more red fruit coming through on this. This actually smells fruitier than A122. A122 just had that more cherry cola note. This smells just more like strawberries, raspberries, just more just general red fruit, more than the A122 does. But let's take a sip. C921's damn good. Reason it won last year. A lot of confectioner sugar up front. The red fruits. A little bit of oak. It's not real heavy on the oak. Alright, A122. I would pick A122 as the winner between those two. So, if you enjoyed C921, it's very similar to A122, but A122 brings a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more oak. It's a little bit better integrated than the C921. So, I would say definitely pick it up. Now, I know what everyone says, but Bourbon Bill, is it as good as the 2020 batches? Well, I only have one bottle from 2020. It was arguably the best one, the C920. So I will grab that and we will do a quick comparison there. Here it is, C920, a big bruiser of 2020, coming in at a whopping 132.8. Whew! It's a spicy gal right here. Let's pour it up. Whoa! Listen to that cork pop on that. Alright, we got the old red Glencairn here. And we're going to remember red because it's going to be straight fire. C920, A122. Oh my gosh. The nose on C920 is just tons of oak, just caramels. I get a hint of the cola note on here as well. This kind of incorporates A122 and like A121, kind of like that sharper oak and caramel note mixed with the cola note off A122. That's what I get on the nose of C920 here. Let's give it a taste. That, whoa, that's good. C920 crushes it, but C920 is the best Elijah Craig barrel proof I've had. So just the extra proof points really help. It's just It's a delicious bourbon. If you've had it, you're going to love it. A lot of the same notes I mentioned all come through on the palate. I would say, though, A122, while not as good as C920, does beat C921. All right, there you have my verdict. It's a buy. And you know what? Even if it was the worst Elijah Craig Barrel Proof I've ever had, still would have been a buy. And you're going to ask yourself, why would this be a buy, even if it was the worst Elijah Craig Barrel Proof you've ever had? The answer is, this is $64.99 in Pennsylvania for 12-year-old barrel proof, non-chill filtered. Let that sink in a second. $64.99. It's still an amazing value. It's one of the best values out there. But, like you just saw on this channel, this was not the worst. It beat, for me, tonight, C921, which was the best of last year. Now, it didn't crush it. It edged it out. Edged it out a little bit. So, if you're a little disappointed in last year's releases, and you thought, when you first saw this, you were disappointed that it was only 120 proof, I would say don't be. I think it's a step up from 2021. But if you really are just missing that C920, like 132 proof, you know, top tier A+++ bourbon, this isn't it. So there's my fair assessment for the night. If you miss the 2020s, this will not help you stop crying yourself to sleep at night, but it will help you somewhat put the 2021s in the past. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Have a great evening, everybody.